I'm Casey,
I'm Mark.
and I am from the U.S.
And I'm from the Philippines.
And we have been in a long distance relationship for 2 years,
Yeah,
2.5. We've been married for 6 months.
6 months.
Tomorrow. I am from a small town in Kentucky, and I work with the public, and I get asked a lot of questions because dating and marrying a foreigner is very unheard of where I'm from. So I get asked questions pretty much every day. I watch a lot of YouTubers that are international couples or expat that live here in the Philippines, and just never seen any same-sex couples. And in all honesty, it's not that different from the things that the straight couples have went through in our story, except getting married's a little harder and that kind of thing. So we're gonna answer some questions today that I get asked a lot.
No.
He gets asked a lot. So this is kind of like a get to know us video.
I will be your honeycomb now to forever. I know this love was meant to be. Video chats every day would pave the way for us. Oh my baby boy, I love you so much. Ooh, I love you so much.
So one question: how did we meet?
Okay, we met online on Facebook. So I was part on a group. It's kind of like, what's that guy called? American or white people dating Asian guys. So he made a post there, and then
It was a Facebook dating group.
oh yeah, and I messaged him, and then yeah, we started talking.
We said hello and a few things, and to be honest, when I asked him his age and he told me, I think we went about 4 or 5 months and we didn't talk again because I thought he was way too young for me.
Yeah.
But as you can see, persistence prevails. So, how long have we been together? We already answered that. 2 years, a little more.
We started talking like April 2021, but then we made it official on March 7 or 8. 8 on my day.
I don't know.
And
I just
so-
remember around Valentine's we said we loved each other for the first time.
Yeah, but we made it official on March 7 or 8. Yeah.
Okay, so why did we want to date a foreigner? Because we were both on a site basically just for foreigners and Filipinos or Asian people and foreigners, Western people.
Yeah.
So my answer to this is I just had a lot of bad relationships in America, and I had even done long distance before with someone from a different state, and that was probably the top 2 worst relationships I ever had. Once they moved to Kentucky, my state, it just got really bad. But it's hard to find people that want to settle down and be monogamous. That's the biggest thing. And just be with one person. And like, I always knew I wanted to meet the one, get married, start a family, and I couldn't find that back home. And my biggest attraction to Asian culture, especially Filipino culture, is they're all about family. And I grew up in the mountain and country people, I guess you could say, and we're all about family. I took care of my grandma for 6 years before she passed. My aunt is currently living with my mom because family is very important to us, and Filipinos are all about family. So that was very, very, very attractive quality to me. So what about you?
When I found out I was gay, I really want to get married. And I want to build a family, and I want to get married. And in the Philippines, it's possible, but it's harder. Like, people will judge you. People will not understand your situations. And what I like in Western countries is they can marry, and then they can build their own family. You know,
Yeah,
that's what I like.
because same-sex marriage,
Yeah, and we don't have a same-sex marriage here in the Philippines.
And
That's why.
they have something called like a holy union, which is like a kind of like a legal contract, but it's not marriage. And I don't think same-sex couples can adopt in the Philippines either.
So yeah, that's why I want to date a foreign.
Of course, we hear married for money, comfort, gold digger, couldn't possibly love someone older, but that's a whole nother video. Where do we plan to live? Well, this is something when I first started talking to Mark and asked him a dream of his. He said he wanted to live in a house in the mountains and have a small farm. And that's before he even knew my situation, which just happens to be I live in a house
Yeah.
in the mountains on a farm. So it was a good answer. So we plan to live in the States.
But when he gets retired,
Yeah, retirement, or hopefully this don't happen for a very, very long time. But when something happens to my mother, I think I really don't have a reason to stay in my area any longer. So we're gonna start off in America and then probably end up in the Philippines. So, but it also depends on
The
children,
Yeah.
and a lot can happen between now and then. Did our families accept us?
yeah. Well, my family is very supportive. I thought it's going to be like issue for them, but it's not. They are really supportive, and I'm just so blessed that I am one of the gay in the Philippines that got support from my family, from the family, you know.
And his family has always treated me like family from the very first time I met them, which I met 17 people at once the same day. But as far as my family, I won't say they were not accepting. They just had the same hang-ups that a lot of people do. They thought I was crazy, and before they actually got to know Mark, they thought the same judgmental things that everybody thinks, and that
I didn't know that.
yeah, when they found out that there is a 20-year age gap, they asked me if I was crazy. Like, I remember my mom saying, don't be sending money, that kind of stuff. But once she got to know Mark and seeing how happy I was, she's very supportive now.
Yeah.
Very, very. And my sister's been supportive from day one. My brother's been supportive, but he don't really care one way or the other. But yeah, my whole family now, even aunts, uncles, everybody's very supportive. And of course my friends have been supportive because that's why they're my friends. So
Yeah, and I am close to his family now.
yeah, his birthday just happened and my family all sent him cards and gifts,
Yeah.
and even my friends, some of them. So, okay. As you can tell, we don't really have a language barrier. So, how did you learn English?
From school. But actually, when I was in high school, I'm not really good in English. But then when I moved to other school, that's when I pushed myself to learn English. Because it's universal language. And then I think by that time, I already found out that I'm gay and I want to...
He knew he wanted to meet a foreigner,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I pushed myself to like learn English because that's my preference. Western people. Because they can get married.
But honestly, his English has improved a lot in the 2 years that we've been together. In the beginning, I used to go, huh? What? A lot, because his accent was a lot stronger and I couldn't understand some of the words he was saying.
Yeah.
And also, in the beginning of our relationship, I used to be talking and I would say something and he would just go, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes.
I realized that he wasn't always understanding what I was saying either. And I've learned to slow my speech down and things for him. And my sister has even asked me, why did you talk to him with the Filipino accent? So I think sometimes I pick up his accent because we talk a lot.
Yeah.
Video chats and things, it's rubbed off. But he understands me now. And even the first time I came to meet him in person, he said, your accent's a lot stronger in person. But what it was is I was excited and forgot to slow my speech down. And he couldn't understand. So
Yeah.
it took
That's true.
us a little bit to
Yeah.
get that out of the way. Do I know Tagalog? Let's see. Nakakaintindi ako konti ng
that's good.
little. I've started taking lessons, which I don't know if it's because I'm older or why. It's a lot harder to catch on to, and plus it's the way they pronounce things and stuff is nothing like English, and the word fillers and things is not something we have in English. And I know the basics like kamusta and salama and just, you know, thank you and how are you doing. And the reason why I want to learn more is out of respect for his culture and talk to my in-laws more, which they do know English to an extent, especially his younger siblings. They actually speak more English than his older siblings.
Yeah.
And his mom's English is pretty good. It's a little broken, but I always understand everything she says, and I have so much respect because she does put in such an effort to talk to me and include me. And yeah, so I know very, very little Tagalog. Does our age difference affect our relationship? Not so much now as it did in the beginning. Which I don't even know if that's the age difference or just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he does things and I don't know if it is a maturity thing or it's the fact that I'm his first relationship, his first kiss, his first relationship. So sometimes his reactions, I think, reflect that more than it does his age. To where I've had past relationships and you kind of learn to let the small things go to where, and plus I think I'm the more sensitive one in the relationship, and he's always saying I don't act my age.
No, I don't.
Immature.
Yeah, sometimes.
And as far as hiking and things like that.
And you're not very good at spending money. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's the American in me. He says I'm wasteful.
Yeah.
But we're not talking about that right now. But as far as hiking and walking and things, he actually tires out before me, so it don't really affect us, honestly. Do we feel like we get judged by other people because of our differences?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, do you remember when we went to the flea market and we're trying to buy a shirt, and this lady asked me who is he? So I told the lady that he's my husband, and she was shocked. And then she walked over to their counter and she was telling to her co-worker, and then they started laughing or giggling. Like, do you remember that?
Kind of.
Yeah. And you just have to understand that not everyone will understand you, or not everyone will accept you, you know.
Yeah, I don't think it bothers me.
It don't bother me.
Because I came out in the early 2000s, and even in America that was years before gay marriage was a thing, and I went through a lot, so I learned to not really care what other people think. But we definitely I don't know if we get stared at because we are a gay couple or if we get stared at because I'm a foreigner in the Philippines. I think it's a little bit of both. But even back home, I've had a lot of remarks, more so about the age difference. I've had people tell me that he looks 12 and what am I thinking, and ask me if I thought he was over here seeing other people and just using me for money. And I'm like, no, we talk so much, I don't know how he would have time to see other people, and he's not that kind of person, and he don't ever ask me for money, so they don't know what they're talking about. But I understand people's thoughts because, to be honest, I questioned those things in the beginning, not so much with him, but just in general. And even to this day, when I see a 60-year-old man and a 20-some-year-old Filipino woman, I have those thoughts. Like, is she with him for the money? Like, but not so much anymore because I know we love each other very much.
Yeah.
I got lucky because on that dating site, I talked to several Filipinos before Mark, and some of them from the very first conversation was like, my grandmother's sick, can you send me money, and that kind of
Yeah.
thing. So there are a lot of scammers, and even if somebody does want to marry a foreigner for a more comfortable life, there's nothing wrong with that. Even in America, financial stability is part of any marriage. Like, no woman wants to marry a man that don't have a job and is 50,000 in debt or something, you know, like, but he honestly never asked me for anything, and he actually gets upset because I want to give and give and give, and it's even for his birthday, he said I overdid it. Like, I recently tried to buy him a computer, and he's like, no, I don't need it. So if it was about money, he would be like, I want this brand, but he's not that kind of person.
Yeah, I am more matured on money, and
I like to shop.
yeah.
What's it like having a long distance relationship? We are planning on making a more detailed video about that in the future, but it's hard. It's very, very hard. Every time I've came to the Philippines and went back home, I have kind of sank into a depression for about a month each time because I miss him so much. And when you get used to being able to touch and then have to go back to video chats every day, it's hard. Yeah, they're hard. And you have to be able to trust, communicate, and basically trust and communicate and have patience, of course. But we talk 4 to 6 hours every single day. In all these years, the only time we missed a video chat was actually the day that he was getting his passport. Because we just couldn't talk. And I still think we might have like 2 or 3 in the morning my time, might have just talked long enough to say I love you and good night. But so what about you?
It's hard. Like, we are already married and then we can't be together. Not until we go through all of the things that we need to do, like the visa thing, and it's really, really long process, you know?
Yes.
And it makes you lonely.
The visa process is anywhere from 1.5 years to 2 years long. So even all the struggles we had just to get married, then we still have all that time to wait because the Philippines is a third world country and America is very strict on marrying someone in a third world country. But as far as the same-sex aspect, luckily in America that is seen as equal. So I have every right that a straight couple has to get my spouse to America. So yeah, but it's hard. And of course, if we could choose, we would choose to be together. But I have family in America that need me, and I also have to make a living. So, and I'm not lucky enough to have a remote job, or I would just come here and stay until then. But that's not an option for us at the moment. What was it like meeting for the first time?
If I'm being honest, it was kind of awkward for like 2 minutes, or like for me. We always like video call and text each other, and I'm used to him. So yeah, I feel comfortable when I am around you.
Like on my trip here and the days before, I was very nervous. Just insecurities, like what if we don't have chemistry in person? What if he's disappointed with what he sees? Because a lot of Filipinos think that Americans and foreigners in general are tall, and he's actually taller than me. So
Yeah.
Not by much. We wear the same size clothes and shoes and everything. So, but I was actually surprised that he was skinnier in person than he seemed on video, because he does have a round face, and that's mostly what I see. So other than the original few minutes of awkwardness, it was like we were just meeting again, not the first time. Definitely had chemistry. Obviously, we're married now. So yeah, it was good. Wish we could have done it sooner. Okay, Did our impressions of each other change? For me, no. He was exactly who I thought he was. I think his impression might have changed because I had to drive in the Philippines, so he's seen a different side of me. So yeah, did your impression change?
Not really. Not until you drive.
I got so grouchy the
Yeah.
first time driving.
Well, I understand that because there's a lot of traffic in the Philippines, so
And I was culture shocked
Yeah.
too by other things, like complete culture shock. Which now that I've been here a few times, I don't get grouchy driving. I understand it now, and even today, we picked up a rental car and drove like 2 hours to his hometown, and I was laughing, saying I'm becoming a Filipino because I forgot to even like look to my left. I just pulled out real slow, and I'm like, well, they would have stopped it or hit me. So that's kind of how Filipinos drive. They'll stop or hit me. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. The last question for this video: does our cultural differences affect our relationship?
yeah, I think.
Things that he says, like I'm wasteful, or things that I think it's just, I know Americans, I don't want to say they're wasteful, but the dollar goes so much further here. So when we ask how much something is, and they're like, it's this many pesos, and I'm like, only $4. Wow, you know, because everything in America is priced so high, so high. So to me, I'm like, that's so cheap, but to him, it's
It is
still
not.
expensive, and I'm wasting money. Or we could go here and get it cheaper, and I'm just like, let's just get it, kind of thing. So that is probably our biggest difference.
Yeah.
And food, because I'll be honest, I even at home though, I don't eat vegetables and things, so it's really hard to find food in the Philippines that I do like. So food's definitely a big difference. But luckily he seems to like Western food pretty well. Burgers and chicken and fries and things.
I still prepare vegetables and fruits, you know, but I have to adjust when I am around you. But I
And-
still get what I want, you know.
Yeah, because I mean, even in the Philippines, the McDonald's and places serve rice, and they don't at home. And we went to KFC today, actually, and I'm like, they don't have biscuits? Because back home, they're famous for their biscuits. They're delicious.
I've never seen a biscuit on a KFC.
They come with our chicken. But the United States, you know, we eat bread instead of rice. I'd say food and spending habits and things is the biggest difference. But other than that, not really, because we do communicate a lot and well. And
The first time I think we don't.
the first time, I think
Yeah.
it was a culture shock.
Yeah, because he don't know about the prices, and there are people who would raise up the price, and he was like, it's not a lot, but I think, oh, it's so much.
Yeah, they obviously not everybody.
Yeah,
But-
not everybody though.
When they see a foreigner, they want to charge more. Even taxi drivers, like at the flea market, because things are not priced. So you say, how much is this? And they'll tell me twice as high as they will him. But to me, it's still cheap. But it's wrong. They shouldn't do that. And honestly, if you come to the Philippines as a foreigner, it's good to have even if you're not coming to date, make a Filipino friend,
Yeah.
or to do your talking for you, and because he will talk to people first and get prices, or I've even seen him argue with people about prices. So yeah.
Yeah.
And that is about it for this one, guys. It's our first video, so I hope we didn't butcher it too bad. We're planning on making more in the future about the gay culture here and the differences that the gay community experienced than the straight community, as far as like getting together and being a couple, about our visa process and the marriage and how we did it, because we went about it different than straight people have to. Even our immigration lawyer said it was the first case that he had handled like that. So, but it worked. And that's all that matters. Got married. So, anyways, if you like the content, like, subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
Yeah. So, talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.